It's another Friday, a fantabulous, fantastic Friday. I welcome you to my Friday Toddy. For those of you who are familiar with my channel, you know on Tuesdays, I teach a core course. And on Fridays like this, I set what I call a tone for your weekend by serving you with Friday tonic. Talking on essential, important, germane issues. And today is not going to be different. I'm so excited, I'm so elated because this is the very first Friday in the month of November 2022, the 11th month of the year 2022. God has been so good to us. So I welcome you to my channel, an academy of knowledge economy. My name is Josephine, and I am your digital professor. Before I go on, let's join learnwithjoes. If you are joining me for the first time, my name is Josephine. I'm your digital professor. Through this, I teach a core course in my area of specialization, philosophy of religion and theology. And on Fridays like this, I serve you Friday tonic to set the tone for your weekend. The theme today, like I said, is let it go. That is learning to let it go. Do you have any problems you're holding on to? Do you have something that is so difficult for you to let go? And I'm using an historical story, real life story of James Garfield, the 28th president of United States of America, to back up the story on learn to let it go. There's a great lesson for us in the death of the 20th president of United States of America, a great man indeed, who passed on in 1881, who was shot July 2nd, 1881. How did he die? Yes, I said it, that he was shot. But did he really die from that bullet too, from the right and the back? Or what happened to him? What didn't he let go? That's what we are going to learn from. And you know, if you are familiar with my channel, there's something I always do. And it has to do with cultural pronunciation or diction. There's no way you pronounce some things. Some people from certain countries or continents might not understand exactly what you are saying or pronouncing. I have viewers, I have followers from all over the continents, from everywhere. And this is my channel that is an academy of in-depth economy. So I want everybody to understand exactly what I teach or what I say. It's important to me. As a feedback, it's also important to me. So in my narrative of that story, that very important story, I've prepared very, very little slides of presentation in PowerPoint that I will share. And as I tell the story, you can follow me also, because I need you to learn from this story. I want to highlight on the importance of letting it go. It's a great lesson, a moral lesson from every one of us. It's a very useful lesson, which if we learn from it, can make a positive difference in our lives. So I want you to just hold on a second while I share the PowerPoint presentation as I go on with my narratives. Learn to let it go, like I said, is the theme for this Friday tonic. You can see when you make a kite and you fly it or throw it up, it goes, it flies off. Like releasing a ball from a cage, it goes off. That's exactly what I'm teaching on, or I mean preaching on. Is it teaching or preaching or talking on today? Because to some, it's like I'm preaching for us to please let it go. To others, it's like I'm teaching to let us learn how to let it go. Some others, I'm discussing to let it go. And I'm using a moral lesson from the death of President James A. Garfield to back up what I'm saying. The 20th president of the United States of America, James Garfield, was shot by a man called Charles J. Gutierrez in Washington, D.C. at 9:30 a.m. on Saturday, July 2nd, 1881, less than 4 months after he took office. There are 2 bullets involved, and those 2 bullets, one went through the back, another entered in his right side. But he was rescued. His life was saved through medical intervention. But to the surprise of the doctors and surgeons that operated on him, the bullets, especially the one that went through the back, was never found. They discovered the one that entered through the right and removed that, but the one that went through the back was never found. After the operation, a very successful operation, the president was doing very fine. It was okay. The president was okay. Then the doctors advised President Garfield to forget about that missing bullet since it couldn't be found. They told him, look, bullets like any matter can even live by staying in a human body for 100 years without any complications. So let it be. Forget about the missing bullets. But the president was not comfortable. He was not comfortable. He insisted that the doctors and surgeons should continue to search for that bullet in his body and remove it. It cannot be carrying a bullet around. So, several medical examinations, further surgeries were carried out on him. Yet, the missing bullet was nowhere to be found. And you can imagine, he tolerated all those surgeries, the pains of the surgeries, the pains of probing into the wound of those bullet wounds, rather than let it be, since the bullet cannot be found. And he was not comfortable with the doctor's advice to let it be. So as a result, an American scientist, the inventor of the telephone, Alexander Graham Bell, was consulted to develop an electronic device to look through his body to locate the missing bullets. So Alexander Graham Bell went to work. He properly configured induction balance that will emit a tone when one brings it close to a metal object, so that that vector, if it's brought close to the body of President Garfield, can actually emit a tone to now know where that bullet is hidden in his body. But guess what? It didn't work. They used this inventor to throw his own body. There was no emission of any tone, and the bullet was not found. So, at the end of July, it was shot July 2nd, 1881. At the end of that July 1881 was when they began searching for the missing bullet with the invention of Alexander Graham Bell. President Garfield died 11 weeks later on September 8, 1881, September 19, 1881, exactly at 10:35 p.m. September 19, 1881, at 10:35 p.m., President Garfield died. Not on the operating table, no, but he died. And it's on record. Anybody who's research-minded could search on record that several doctors inserted into his wound unwashed fingers to probe for the missing bullet. And one doctor, though not intentionally, but unintentionally punctured the president's liver, resulting in serious medical complications. When an autopsy was carried on the body of President Garfield, it showed that the president died of complications caused by infections and not from the bullets, not from the gunshots, which means the gunshot did not kill him, the bullet in his body did not kill him. But he was killed from complications arising from unwashed fingers of his soldiers and doctors probing for the missing bullet, and that one doctor who unintentionally punctured his liver while they were trying to locate the missing bullet in his body. It's a great moral lesson for all of us. The president probably wouldn't have died if he had considered and listened to the doctor's advice to let it be, to leave that bullet since they cannot find it. And like I said earlier on, it's been proved that such a mirror like a bullet can stay in human body for 100 years without complication. Let's note that sometimes it's better to leave some problems alone to have peace. If you listen to others, you will know your own problem is infinitesimal, insignificant to some problems other people are carrying about. Others around you live with more significant problems from other phases of life. We live in a wicked world. We live in a suffering world. There are so many problems. There are so many evils around. The problem of evil actually has been the cause of what we call theistic arguments. Maturity is not measured by what happens to us in life, but by how we handle them. Let's grow up. Let's truly grow up and be matured into the problems of life. If it's spiritual problem, what can you do about it? It's only God can handle for you. Leave it to God. That's why the only word in the scripture say, cast all your anxiety onto who cares, which is God, who can handle spiritual problem. If it's physical, if you have tried all your efforts, if it's something that has to do with medical, you've seen the more doctors, they have seen you, they've done all various tests, and there's still seemingly no solution, or there are other kind of physical things, let it be. You can't find the solution will come if God wants it to come. And if it's economical or financial, you've tried your best. It's like, at times you have invested in stock market, in brokerages, or a lot of stocks, and something happened, it crashed. Holding on to that crash or to that problem can even cause something greater consequences, high blood pressure or heartbreak. And what can result? Cardiac arrest. Why do you want to suffer cardiac arrest instead of letting it go? Let it be. So maturity is not measured by what happens to us, it's the way we handle it. Any way you handle the problem in your life, that's the best. And that is the sign of maturity. Even sign of true spirituality. When you leave things you cannot handle yourself into God. Do you have one missing bullet in your body in the form of wrong accusations? In the form of insults? Somebody has accused you wrongly. You've tried to clear your name. You've told people it is not, that's not how it happened. You still been accused. Let it go. Sometimes, later on, the truth will come out, because the truth is like an acid, and it perforates every falsehood that is lying around. So let it go. The truth will eventually come out. Or insult, you have been insulted by even people who should not. Maybe they are younger than you, they're not in your position, and they're insulting you, or you have gone through one form of abuse or the other. It shouldn't lead you to addiction, drug addiction, alcoholism, or whatever. You let it go. Any kind of form of burden you are carrying around in your body, either accusation, insult, abuse, etc., that will not damage you if you let go. Your insistence on finding out that missing bullet, like President Garfield did, might cause greater consequences for you, may affect and even pull down collective interest. Let it be and move on with life. It's good to try to solve problems. Yeah, I'm not saying do not solve problems. It's good to solve problems, but it's better, much, much better, not to go too far. And it's also essential to know when to let it go. It is better at times to accept being wronged than to go too far in righting the wrong and end up being wrong. And that is why an accuser can turn to be accused when you are going too far. You remember, for those African folk tales, the story of in Africa we call it Japan, it's a very tortoise or turtle. They call it tortoise or turtle. The story about tortoise and the in-law. The in-law who stole something from him and took the in-law to the market to tie into the stick so that everybody going to the market in the morning. When they were going, they saw him. What has he done? He stole this thing. He said, and they were saying, you, that's why that is an in-law, you are stealing from me. And rather than letting the person go, he still let the person there tied to that stick until those who went to the market in the morning were returning back in the evening. And they still saw this when they thought, they now turn back on the turtles. What's wrong with you? Is it not your in-law? You are wicked. You are callous. You are unforgiving. Can't you forgive? So you can imagine in the morning when they were going to market, it was the in-laws' turn for the insult and abuse. When they are coming back, the turtles who thought he's doing the right thing. Let it go. So fighting the wrong at times can end up making you to even be wrong. This is a reflection time for all of us. Learn not to be too inquisitive about anything in life. Life is short, it's temporal, and you live. Once again, I wish all of us a free, worries heart. Protect your heart from worries. Protect your heart from unhappiness. Protect your heart from that cardiac arrest by letting it go. Remain joyful, because the joyful-minded days are ahead and beyond. So let's learn to let it go. I wish us all I thank you for joining me this Friday. And I think we have learned a lesson from letting it go. We've learned a great lesson from the death of President Garfield, the 28th American president. Let us not hold anything to our heart. And when you let something go, something more beautiful, something more wonderful will come into your life. So let it go. Please don't forget to set up your notification so that anytime I release a video, you'll be notified. And then for those who have not subscribed, just say click that subscription button down directly, click on it and subscribe. And don't forget to tell others about my channel. When you love something, you share it with others. So share my channels with others, share my videos with others. Today's Friday Tonic is a great lesson for all of us. So let's share it so that many people will learn to let this go. I wish you a wonderful and fantastic weekend. God that has brought us into the very wonderful month of November, we see you through the remaining days, weeks of this year 2022. I love you. Thank you.